W253DF Memphis. It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in on this downpour, you could say, Monday. Man, it was raining so hard as I drove in on 240, but it is good to be back. I've had this long journey. 3,036 miles I drove in 16 days from Detroit to Mackinac Island to Chicago to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Tigers are going to play Iowa State there on November the 2nd. Then the Badlands, Custer Park, Mount Rushmore. It was quite the rush, you could say. It was a terrific vacation, but it's always good to come back home. And these are busy times coming back home. The Grizz will draft tomorrow night. Will Ja be moved? They're saying Giannis is going to go in the next 36 hours. He's the first domino. Ja could go next. The Tigers, a couple of days ago, got a pro. I think it significantly upgrades their roster. And what a U.S. Open we had, and a story of redemption with Wyndham Clark, who became a heel on the PGA Tour. We're going to get into that. We've got a busy show. TJ Reeves joins us in a little bit. Mike DeCourcy, Ted Butler will end our day as we always do on Mondays. And, of course, we've got some medals. While I was gone, Landon Schmidt took over, and I suspect you kept me in first place, or you got me into first place in the golf picks?
Not first place, but actually Johnny Lyons got to first place.
Got Johnny Lyons. Had Wyndham Clark. Did you see the pad on Wyndham Clark?
Yeah.
$4.5 million.
And Sam Burns getting like 2.8 or something.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he got at least 2.5, maybe 3. It was crazy. That's the kind of money they've got going right now. That is just amazing. We're going to talk World Cup with Mike DeCourcy. There are some great stories here. You got Cape Verde. You got Curacao. I think that's how you pronounce it. Another island with hardly any population. Cape Verde's only got 500,000 people in. They got 2 draws. One was Spain. It is incredible. We'll talk World Cup there, and then, as I mentioned, we end our day with Mike DeCourcy. So I don't know if the Grizz will draft all 3 tomorrow night, 3, 16, and 32. I know this. They could take 16 and 32 and some picks and try to move up to get a point guard and try to move Ja. The rumors are Miami, New Orleans, or Minnesota. If Miami really wants Giannis, that deal's got to break. Boston's in that mix. It's going to be a crazy next 36 hours or so. And breaking news this morning, which shocked me a little bit, Dusty May, who just a few years ago was truly blessed with a bad call for Memphis and a great one for Florida Atlantic. The Tigers should have been the one that went to the Final Four that year. They had FAU, before they joined the league, on the ropes, and Lomax called a timeout that, unfortunately, the referee did not give the call. Lee Cassell was the ref, did not call the timeout that was clearly given or asked for, and the tie-up and the jump ball, and the Tigers lose that game, which I think would have made a really nice run for Memphis. But that was the FAU run. He parlayed that into Michigan, and this morning, this guy, and it's all because of that call. He had to coach pretty well, too, after that, and he is a great coach. But he wins the national championship at Michigan and parlays that into an NBA job with the Dallas Mavericks. Wow. And they've got, 9-30 coming up? There could be some Michigan guys they will be taking now. It's going to be interesting to watch to see what Dusty May does. But, man, has he ever parlayed from playing in that little, tiny, terrible gym in Boca Raton to Michigan, and now to the NBA and the Dallas Mavericks. What a journey for Dusty May. That's the breaking news this morning. As I sit here at the Family Leisure Studios, I do remind you summer is here, and the Ultimate Pool Party is still in full swing with a above-ground pool starting at just great prices, under $4,000. In-ground pools just under 50 grand, and they are the best. And they didn't always do this. They're doing them now. So check in if you want the best in-ground. You now go to Family Leisure. 5-piece furniture sets start at under $1,000. There is just something always going on. Mention us. You get $200 off a pool or a spa purchase. That's Family Leisure, I-40 and Whitten Road. We do a thing on Mondays where we try to say what's good, what's bad with precious and not so precious metals. I got a bunch. I'm going to give the first bronze to the College World Series. Oklahoma and North Carolina are going to battle for the championship tonight. In the best-of-3 championship series, both have won a game. Oklahoma won first. North Carolina won yesterday. That sets it up. There's been a lot of drama. It's really interesting. I don't know, Landon, did you see yesterday the 2 amateur lows at the U.S. Open? One was from North Carolina and one was from Oklahoma.
That's impressive.
Isn't that amazing? And
That's
now
amazing.
They're playing each other in the College World Series championship.
That's awesome.
I think that is terrific. I'm going to give the United States World Cup team a bronze. They're already talking about them being a legit team that could win the World Cup. We'll find out from Mike DeCourcy, but they already clinched the knockout round, and their +5 goal differential, pretty darn good. They could get a decent seeding. We'll see what they do with Turkey later in the week. Turkey's the big surprise, 0-2 in that group. I've got to give 3 silver medals. 1 to Serena. Not only is she playing doubles, now she's announcing she's coming back and going to play singles at Wimbledon. She gets a wild card draw. I just wonder this. How much GLP-1 diet pills or shots, how much will she sell? It's Roe that she does, right? I think that's right. I mean, she's got to be getting a deal from them. But it is amazing how she has come back. I got to give a silver medal to Cape Verde. This is a little island somewhere off of Africa. It's got 500,000 people. I don't think it's bigger, like if you take in its entirety, like 2 to 4 square miles, something like that. And they have had 2 draws and a chance at the knockout round. They drew Spain even. I mean, what a story they are. And then I got to give a silver medal to the Redbirds. It could be almost gold because yesterday in style, they beat the dreaded rival Nashville Sounds and won the first half. So they made the playoffs in the International League. How about that? Good for the Memphis Redbirds. They're in the playoffs. And then the gold goes to Wyndham Clark. Wire to wire. Second U.S. Open in 4 years. Remember a year ago at Oakmont, he busted up the locker room. He's become a heel. He was booed. It's a terrible story, the behavior on the PGA Tour with fans these days. We're going to get into that with both TJ Reeves and with Ted Butler. But he goes, I don't want to become the heel of the PGA Tour, but he's become that. Maybe this will make a change because he took it nicely. He's always saying he brought it on himself now. He had to go through anger management. He had to pay to a charity. He had to fix up Oakmont. I guess the next time they have a U.S. Open there, he would be allowed back. But he was banned. But this was a redemption story for this guy. And now he's won twice on the PGA Tour this year. He's got to be in consideration for Player of the Year. Just great stuff. Wyndham Clark gets my gold. Linda?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, real quick, I'm giving a overall bronze to the World Cup. Like you mentioned, every game this year has been really entertaining to watch, and just about every single night, there's some level of history being made with these games, whether it's goals, whatever it is. Covering it last week with J-Ham and Darian, I mean, the amount of just history that's happening in our right in our midst is unbelievable. So a huge shout out to them. And like you were saying, Vozina, the goalie for Cape Verde, who's single-handedly been causing these draws for this team, making his debut at 40 years old and is doing this well is really impressive, no matter how you draw it up, which is why also a bronze medal, like you mentioned, is going to Serena Williams making a comeback. I think for her, it doesn't really matter for me how well she does. The fact that she's going back out there, and she'll always be remembered as one of the greatest women's tennis players of all time, and there's nothing that's going to take that away from her. So huge bronze medal to her return as well. I'm giving a silver medal to the College World Series, and we'll get that finale here tonight. You got a team who deserves to be there, and then a team that has shocked the world by getting to where they are right now and stealing Game 1 from North Carolina in Oklahoma. This series has been really fun to talk about, and it seems that Tim and I, talking to him last week, are on the same page that you got to watch out for this Oklahoma team, and I believe you need to watch out for them tonight, because if they come out hot, I find it hard to believe that North Carolina can put a stop to their hot bats. So I guess we'll just find out from them. A silver medal specifically to the United States men's national team, who's been performing phenomenally thus far, already clinching Group D and going on to the knockout round, setting themselves up in a really good position early on for that, going to be playing some lesser competition. So probably have a good chance to at least make a little bit of a run before they go and meet these powerhouses. And then, of course, my gold also goes to Wyndham Clark, which, despite all the other stuff that goes on the outside, Wyndham Clark is playing probably the best golf of his life.
Short game's amazing.
And it has been incredible to watch. He took that lead early in the U.S. Open, and I don't know, it was hard to believe that anybody was even going to come close to even coming close to just knocking him off, and nobody did. So a huge shout out to Wyndham.
All right. Quickly, Rust, because we got TJ coming up here momentarily. The crowds at the U.S. Open. I understand. I love it that they serenaded Scottie Scheffler with happy birthday. But to boo their own American guy, Wyndham, for what happened a year ago after he's paid such a price and apologized over and over and over again, it's there's got to be some better behavior within galleries. I don't mind it once a year with Phoenix, the way they do that, and certainly the Ryder Cup is an emotional roller coaster. I get that part, but come on now. U.S. Open, everybody on equal footing here, trying to concentrate against the toughest conditions, and you're booing a guy for what happened a year ago in a locker room, nothing that he really did on the golf course. Terrible. And then I'm going to give a rust to me, and I'm going to tell you why. I was in Deadwood, South Dakota. HBO did a whole thing on Deadwood. It's a cool place, and it's famous for casinos, gambling, bars, brothels in the old days. I'm walking past a sports casino. I see Wyndham Clark at 100-1 odds, and my wife can verify this. I said, you know what? I got to go put $10 down. 100-1. Wyndham Clark is hot. He's already won a tournament. Yeah. He's already won a USO. I can't believe 100-1. $10, I could win $1,000. I ought to do that. And I said, I'm not a big gambler. So I was thinking to myself, how would I collect that from this casino if I go do that? So I decided not to. I get a rust because I identified he was going to win this thing. I would have won $1,000 on $10, and I blew it. So I get a rust.
Yeah, well, unfortunately that's a justifiable rust there. For me, just something really quick. I've been really impressed with everything going on in the sports world, but every time that I watch soccer, I'm reminded of just just how much flopping is so prevalent. And the one thing that always seems to make me laugh is anytime a guy goes down, they immediately grab the one part of their body that is padded, their shins. Every time they go down, they're grabbing their shin guards. And I'm saying, what's the point of wearing them if that's the first thing you're going to grab when you go down?
I'm with you. I can't stand the flopping, and I can't stand how they stayed out. Yesterday, in extra time, Egypt's going to win anyway. A guy goes up to head the ball hits him in the head, and then he goes, puts his hands on his head, and he's down for 4 minutes in the extra time trying to use it all up. I can't stand that part of it. I am with you. And those are our medals, good and bad. They are brought to you in part by Memphis Public Links, who you can't play today probably because it's wet. Really wet. It's supposed to rain till 7 o'clock today. But I can tell you can play tomorrow, and then the rest of the week is incredible. Going to be, I think after Wednesday for sure, maybe we'll even get off the cart path. But here's the thing. Memphis Public Golf is so good now. They just had the Overton Child Parent Tournament. I know my man Ted Butler played in that with his son Joseph. That's been going on for years. The longest tournament in Memphis is the Open for the kids that'll take place later. It's going to be like the 76th tournament they've ever had. Memphis Public Links has really met the challenge. A few years ago, they started redoing courses. They realized great cities have amenities, and one amenity is great golf courses. And man, Mickey Barker and that group, they really understood that. They have made these golf courses so fantastic. All the redo of the greens in Fox Meadows, they did that too. They're all in terrific shape. Go to memphispubliclinks.com, get all the information. Every course has its own championship tournament. Several of them are completed. Pine Hills is going to be on Saturday. Just check it out. Just trust me, you're going to love playing golf at the Memphis Public Golf Courses. We head to Tampa. Our friend TJ Reeves, fresh off of his vacation, joins us now. I hope you're well rested. What did you think of that U.S. Open?
Tremendous stuff. I'm glad your sojourn is over. I can't believe, I know you just explained it on the air, right? You drove everywhere, which I give you a medal.
I did fly back, but before I flew
drove
back, 3,036 miles.
Good Lord, the Badlands, the upper Midwest, you get a medal from me for that. We'll give you a gold for that. I get a gold. I'm going to bestow a gold on me for surviving the Disney cruise with the twins. Graduation has happened. They are now within 6 days of turning 18, which I can't believe. They're adults. So here we go. We had a great time on that. So I had limited access to watch things. The World Cup was on a little bit. The U.S. Open early was on. But I got into the U.S. Open obviously more once we got off the cruise ship Saturday and Sunday. And, man, great drama. And you got to credit Wyndham Clark. I didn't get to hear you just a few minutes ago. What did you make, and did you give a rust? Did you boo the New York fans?
Yes, I did. I gave a rust to the fans. I don't know what's going on with behavior. Like I said before, I understand Phoenix. That's the one place, and the players kind of like that, so they've accepted that.
Right.
The Ryder Cup's
but
emotional.
At Phoenix, they're not rooting for a specific player hole after hole to fail. What they're rooting for is if you've missed the green on that crazy par 3. Yeah. Then somebody has to buy somebody next to them a beer because they've got a bet on who's going to hit the green or not hit the green. That's different. This was, I think they made him a target, the New York media, the New York fans, and this is what New York fans love to do. You know, they're the best fans in the world. Just ask them. Just ask them about, their idiotic behavior, but they're still the best fans in the world. So they decided to make him a target, I guess, as a group. And, some of them are hearing it or seeing it on social media, so they go out the next day on Friday or on Saturday to do it. But it's very unusual in this sport. That I'm working with Bob Herrig, the longtime golf writer and TV personality with ESPN and with SI.com, and Bob's now got his own Substack that he's doing stuff with and covering the game. He was at Shinnecock. I did a show with him last night, and he said, great analogy. This is not the NBA where people are waving the blown up balloons and the fatheads and whatever behind the backboard on a free throw. This is not the NFL where the crowd boos and roars at whatever opposing team and whatever they do, or try to do at the line of scrimmage. Golf is different. Golf is tranquil, as we know. It's quiet. It's a gentleman's game. And what he said is that the tours and the championships need to really evaluate now this not getting bigger. His fear is this is going to get bigger with people doing this and the anti-thing and, people yelling Wolo behind him after he hit a shot, go in the bunker, that kind of stuff. It's not the NFL. It's not the NBA. It's not the same with fan involvement. There you go.
I agree with you. I am disappointed in it. He made the remark, I don't want to be the heel. He feels like he's the heel now of the PGA Tour, and that is crazy. He's paid his price. He gave to charity. He took anger management. He said it. Yeah. He brought it on himself. I don't know what more you would want, but I golf's a gentleman game. I don't mind people getting rowdy every once in a while, but you can't have that kind of behavior where they had to kick people out for language. It was nuts.
And by the way, he's an American playing in the U.S. Open. It's one thing if they're taunting Rory, which they were doing even at the PGA Championship.
Right.
and even taunting him again this weekend. He taunted a fan back, making fun of a fan's big beer belly. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
After he hit a shot, a fan was yapping at him. So it was very weird, but it's also detracting from what was great drama. And how elite is it? I don't know if you've been over this, that he's got 2 U.S. Opens. And, for example,
in 4
Arnold
years.
Palmer never won 2. Tom Watson never won 2. Phil Mickelson never won 1. These are elite Hall of Fame golfers.
Right.
And Wyndham Clark has 2 of them.
By the way, Scotty Scheffler's never won 1 either. That would have been the Grand Slam, but he's eventually going to get it. All right, real quick, since you mentioned Phil, and then we're going to have to run here.
No problem.
I've seen falls from grace with athletes before.
Right.
But man, Phil Mickelson, this story is incredible. This guy, he needed money, I think. I really do. Because he left what could have been an unbelievable legacy and a money-making machine forever. But he apparently $100 million straight up front is pretty enticing.
Well, right.
He leaves for that $100 million. And since that time, things have really gone south. Just about everybody. Terrell Hatton, maybe the exception. Joaquin Neiman, who got a penalty of 2 strokes for throwing a club, which was interesting. That cost him. He would have had a tie for third at -1 had he not been assessed a 2-stroke penalty. But all the live players, they struggled in this thing. Rahm was terrible. DeChambeau's in shambles.
And we don't even know, and at the point in time, we don't even know if they're going to play another event. It may cease before they play another event.
And so
Mickelson. Your point is, did Phil completely soil his legacy? I don't know if he completely did. We love comeback stories. We love rehabilitation.
There's not going to be a story for him because he's older. He's not going to be allowed on the senior tour, so he's not going to be allowed any kind of redemption story. He would have become, I think, the voice of golf like Johnny Miller was, because he was going to be an analyst without
that might still happen. I don't know that I go along with never. That might still happen down the road.
I really don't think it will.
But remember these things. He can still play all of the majors except the U.S. Open, which you would have to qualify for. He is for life at Augusta. He's for life at the British Open, the Open Championship. He's for life at the PGA. And let's see if he doesn't.
He's never going to win another tournament.
All right, stay tuned. I mean, he could. He's not going to win. He's not going to win a major.
And then these new charges, and he had to quit his course that he's belonged to outside of San Diego for years.
Oh, he didn't quit. They removed him.
Well,
removed him apparently during the round.
Yeah.
And took him off the course and removed all of his memorabilia, pictures hanging up, whatever. I don't know. But at some point, he's going to resurface. And let's see. I mean, we rehabilitated Tiger Woods. Remember in the 2010s? All the talk was, can Tiger ever get his image back? And we saw those images of everybody rooting for him to win, and he eventually did at Augusta again. So we'll see if Phil has a redemption. But you're right. He's kind of villain number one right now that's out there in golf. And whatever is going on, if it's his wife that is sick again or someone else is sick again.
Well, there's an illness in the family. They're not saying, right? But then this thing is – it's really tough. And he's not really talking. He says he's not guilty, but he's not really talking. So we shall see. Glad you're home, safe and sound. We'll talk.
We're all good
next week.
By the way, 15-second take. Dusty May to the Dallas Mavericks. Holy cow! On a June Monday, when the rumors had been John Shire to reunite with the Duke players, that's crazy. And now the coaching carousel cranks up a little more at Michigan.
Let me just say this. Dusty May needs to send a bunch of money to Lee Cassell.
Because
Lee Cassell did not give Alex Lomax the timeout that Memphis called for, would have had the ball, would have won.
This is Memphis, Florida Atlantic.
The NCAA tournament game when they went to the Final Four. Memphis wins that game.
Dusty May's probably still at Florida Atlantic, maybe.
100%. It never happens the way it did. He needs to send Lee Cassell money. Thank you, TJ.
That. Fitting way to end it. Be well, my friend.
You got it. Bye-bye. That is our friend down in Tampa. He's brought to you by Southern Security. Whether you're a small business owner, maybe you're buying your first home, Southern Security can be your trusted financial partner. They've been voted the last 7 years now as the credit union in the Mid-South. They are not a bank. They are not for profit. They can do things banks cannot. They can offer you the best rates. They always have the best service. They always have the new technology. Look at the new branch they have in Collierville. And joining is easy. Go talk to a person at 901-452-7900 or go to southernsecurity.org. Southern Security, your home team credit union, federally insured by NCUA. We're going to Pittsburgh. We're going to talk World Cup with the one and only Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News and the Big Ten Network. He comes your way in just a minute.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Landers Ford in Collierville is celebrating America 250. During our Landers 250 event, we're out to sell 250 specially selected new Fords, even new 2026 Ford Explorer, Expedition, Bronco, and Bronco Sport. Employee pricing for everyone, plus 2.9 APR financing available on select models. That's right, employee pricing for all. At the #1 Ford dealer in the Mid-South, Landers Ford in Collierville. Trade values are strong for now. Get top dollar before values drop. Get started now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. Employee pricing for everyone. New F-150s with employee pricing for all. Act now. 250 new Fords will sell fast. Give us a call to schedule your test drive today. Landers Ford in Collierville. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. As reported on Ford's 2025 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report. Memphis Market. Employee pricing is a Ford A-Plan pricing program. U.S. residents only. Prior purchase is not eligible. Other exclusions may apply. See dealer for complete details. With approved credit through Ford Credit. Not everyone will qualify. Price plus tax, title, and license. Offer includes $695 processing fee. Offer ends 7/6/26.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet piquilla peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes. Or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger-buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back in. We're going to Pittsburgh momentarily. You know, every year thousands visit Memphis and Shelby County, not just to hear our great music or sample the wonderful food, but to also take in a sporting event or a tournament. So if your school, team, or league is exploring the possibility of hosting a sporting event in our community that brings an out-of-town audience, then you need to get a hold of Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council, because they're there to help coach you through the process. They can provide valuable destination insight and helpful planning strategies for a winning event, send you to the right hotels, get you in the right area. You can visit memphisportscouncil.com to learn more about how you can play a part in growing the Memphis visitor economy through sports. And every week they bring you from the Sporting News and the Big Ten Network our friend Mike DeCourcy, who's covering the World Cup. And I guess my first question is pretty easy. They're already talking about this USA team, which has clinched the knockout round, +5 goal differential. They've looked great in the 2 games they've played, that they are good enough to maybe make the semifinals or the finals. How good is this team, Mr. Corsi? Good morning.
Good morning, Dave, and I hope you enjoyed your time off.
Oh, I did. It was wonderful.
Awesome. Well, I if you watched any World Cup while you were gone, and if that included the United States, you saw something that we've not seen before in American soccer. That we've seen teams that performed really well and maybe above their station a little bit and showed great spirit. And there were talented individuals on those teams, Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan, guys like that, really talented guys, but never a collection where it was a lot of talented guys that were playing together and with great heart. That's what we've seen in the first two games. I was out there in L.A. for the game against Paraguay. I did not travel to Seattle, but watched that game from home, and it's just different. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get upset. I'll give you an example. This is what you have to be very focused and very concerned about how you perform and all of that. In last fall's U20 World Cup, the U.S. representative team in the U20 World Cup won their group, and they played great. And if I remember correctly, I think it was France. I might be wrong on that, but they had one of the really strong nations in their group, and they won the group, and they got out into the round of 32, which is an extra round now in this tournament. And they drew Morocco, which hadn't played great in their group, but Morocco's been a really good program now in the last 5 to 6 years, and Morocco beat them. So you can't assume anything. What you can say is, if you continue to play like this, that you're a threat to win against just about everybody. And that doesn't mean you continue to play like this. You have to go out there and do it.
Well, they've won these two games without, on paper, their biggest star in Christian.
He was there for the 3-0 in the first one. So the game was won by the time he left. Didn't
he get hurt though?
He did. He missed the second half, but it was up. They were up 3-0 when he left that one.
Well, but we've seen, besides Pulisic, we've seen Folarin Balogun. Now we've seen this guy come on. You're talking about Alex Freeman's been terrific. Chris Richards is great. I mean, there's a bunch of newer, younger guys besides Pulisic that are outstanding.
Yeah, and guys in his age group too. Tyler Adams has been fantastic. Yeah. Weston McKennie, probably the best player that they've had to date. Balogun would be a threat in that conversation as well. But you could say, and then you look on the other side of the field from McKennie, and you look at Anthony Robinson playing great, and Serginho Dest has been terrific. That's what I'm saying. You can name a lot of different guys who played really well to this point. And it'll be different now when they get to dynamic offensive teams. That's when you start to wonder, okay, Tim Ream's got to hold up. And he's 38, 39 years old. And he wasn't fast when he was young. The only advantage is he knows how to play when he's slow, because for an athlete, that's all he's ever been. I mean, he's not slow compared to me, but compared to a typical center back at the high level, he's slow. And he's learned to play that way and been so gifted in so many other areas that he's been able to continue to perform and be a valuable player now for Charlotte in MLS. But does that speed ever become a problem? One of the things that was a real gift to the U.S. Was that Australia had great speed in their front line
and physicality. My God, they were beating each other up.
But they took the speed out of it. They benched their goal scorer from the first game, who would have been a great counterattack threat directly against Tim Ream, and they benched him. They thought they could be able to hold the U.S. down, and they failed. And then it was too late by the time it was 2-0 by the time that young man got in the game.
So what do you do? They've already won Group D, +5 goal differential.
Yeah.
They're playing a Turkey team that Turkey upset them when they played earlier in the year. But this game, I don't think it has much meaning.
It has no meaning.
So
it has zero meaning for either team.
Does Mauricio Pochettino, does he the coach, does he rest his players? There's a couple who've already got a yellow card. What does he do in this game?
He's got 4 players on yellow cards right now. Mentioned Tyler Adams, Anthony Robinson's one of them.
Isn't Chris Richards one of them?
Chris Richards is one. I believe that's correct. They're all 4 guys are important players. And if any of them were to get a second yellow, they would then be suspended for an elimination game in the round of 32. So for that reason, I watched Fox's coverage, and one of the analysts there on the weekend said that he says, well, a lot of guys will get a red card in the 10th minute, and the coach just doesn't take them out then. They'll still play him another 80, even though a second yellow would mean a red card from that game. And he's not wrong, but you're not playing for anything. If you can't keep guys sharp during practice, during training, as they call it in soccer, then what are you doing? I mean, the U.S. team that played against Paraguay never played like that in a game before. They never did. But they came out and did it. So they were very good against Germany, but lost in their pre-World Cup exhibition, and they were very good against Senegal, but yielded 2 goals in their pre-World Cup exhibition. So it's not like you can't reach this level without having reached it previously. I don't buy the idea that as a result that you have to then go out and play them on Thursday in a game that doesn't mean anything, where the only 2 things that could happen, well, there are 3, I guess, technically. You could keep your form and keep the rhythm that you have, even though you then don't play for another 5 or 6 days. Or you could get hurt, or you could get a second yellow and then be suspended. So, where's the upside in that? I don't buy that at all.
No. Obviously, the results are excellent, but give me your take on Pochettino, how he differs from the former coach where there was always controversy, Berhalter. What do you think of the job he's done?
Well, I think that the controversy about Greg was that he was American first, and there is a segment of American soccer fans who think anything American is bad except maybe the players. I mean, it's just preposterous. The league bad, and the coach is bad, but the players, okay, maybe. That self-defeating mindset is too pervasive in American soccer. And so that's the first step. The second step was that Greg did not win MLS Cup when he was at Columbus. He wasn't super well funded. His team, they were trying to move the team to Austin. He did make the MLS Cup final. And I watched every game they played. When I lived in Cincinnati, and Columbus was the closest team, so I kind of adopted them as my team. Mm-hmm. So I watched them all the time. He was a really good coach, and with the U.S., he was handed a very young group of players: McKennie, Adams, Pulisic, and those guys. He helped turn them into a promising team. Then the Gio Reyna thing happened, and he lost a lot of his authority, and he lost a lot of his ability to enforce his authority, and they probably should have just cut it then. But in the end, if they'd done it immediately after the Reyna thing, they probably wouldn't have gotten Pochettino. And Pochettino has a great track record. He did wonderful things in Tottenham, very solid things at Paris Saint-Germain. He's a very good coach. And odd thing that happened with him was that he went through the first almost year and a half without really ever saying, this is how we want to play and this is how we're going to do it. He kept experimenting until he figured out exactly what he wanted. And he left everybody else to try to figure out, what is he trying to do here? And he changed formations. He changed who he called in. He changed who was emphasized. And until we got to the Paraguay game, we didn't really know what they were capable of. The 2 games in advance of the World Cup were very promising, but we still didn't know everything they had. And then they laid it out there, and it showed. He knew what he was doing all along. He just didn't share it with any of us.
Yeah. The field expanded to 48, and now we got some really cool Cinderella stories. Cape Verde, drawing everywhere. Drew Spain. I mean, amazing. Curacao. I think that's how you pronounce that island. They get a goal against Germany. I think they got a draw in there. This is great stuff. I love this.
Oh, it's been pretty cool. For those of us who are anti NCAA tournament expansion, it's not been the best result because Cabo Verde has been wonderful, a wonderful story, and Curacao did a nice job, and there hasn't been, except for Curacao getting beaten 7-1 by Germany, there haven't been really a lot of dominations. I would have expected there would be more. These teams have figured out how to at least be competitive in these games. I mean, it's not like somebody hasn't gone out and won 4-1 or whatever, but that's not like that never happened in a 32 or 2014 World Cup. Those things happen. When the U.S. showed up in 90 after they qualified for the first time in 40 years, their first game they lost 5-0. So it happened before in the smaller World Cup. So far you'd have to give Gianni Infantino props for expanding to 48 because it's gone really well.
Well, Cape Verde is a great story. What is this? Is it an African island or off the coast
it's
of
an
Africa?
Off the coast of Africa.
Half a million people. Like the square mileage is like 2.5 miles or something crazy.
It's amazing what you can do. I mean, we've seen Iceland rise up with, I think, only 500,000 people or so and do really well at the Euros. Back in, I guess it was now almost 10 years ago that happened. And we've seen small countries. I mean, we saw Croatia, which I believe has 3 million people, or maybe 5, make the final in 2018. So these things can happen in this sport. It's a different sport in that sense. It hasn't helped China much to have 1 billion people, or India to have, I think, 700 million, whatever it is now. It hasn't helped them to get powerful in this sport. But here's Cabo Verde getting it done, and now still in a position where they might be able to qualify. They're going to have to do something special in the third game, but special doesn't seem to be out of reach.
No, their goalie's incredible. All right, last thing. Yeah. The FIFA setup as we get to the third game of the group play. What's your sense of it? I know the Iranians are unhappy. They're in Tijuana. They're playing all their games in America. But do you think, for the most part, this has been, other than the gouging of prices, has FIFA done a good job?
Oh, I think they've done some really good things. I mean, they're getting criticized for the hydration breaks that have been turned into commercial breaks. They're getting criticized for that, but no one's pointing out some of the successes, the pace of play. When you screw around with your goal kick, okay, do that, and it turns into a corner kick. You're not going to do that again. I saw a throw-in last night that was supposed to go one way, and they just fooled around. Okay, the other team gets to throw it in. I love those. If they got to, and they have called the game better, I think. I've seen some criticism of officiating, but I think they've been called better in the sense that guys who try to buy calls now are not getting them. Like if you go down, you're probably fouled. If you go down and they call it, you're probably fouled. If you go down because somebody's close to you and you know that you don't have other play, and so you go down on your own, they're seeing it pretty well. So I like what they've done with that. It can get a little more physical as a result, kind of like the NBA playoffs.
Yeah,
get really physical. But I think they've done a very nice job with all of that. And then we saw as well, I don't know if you saw this, Dave, but they threw Miguel Almiron out of a game the other night for covering his mouth when he said something to a player from Turkey. And that's a great innovation. I saw some criticism, well, you don't know what he said. Well, good. Then don't do it.
Right.
It happened in a game between Benfica and Real Madrid. A player from, I believe, Benfica, I don't remember which side it was, but one of the players in that game covered his mouth and said something that was alleged to be racist, or made it was probably a racist statement, but was alleged to have made a racist statement. And so FIFA said, okay, if you want to say something to one of your opponents, you better say it with your mouth, with where everybody can see your lips. If you cover it up, we're going to assume it's something that we would have a real problem with, and you're out. And they did that. And I saw anytime you see harsh changes like that, oh, well, maybe it should just be a yellow card. Well, what if it was something that was that went way over the line? No. I like this because now you won't do it anymore, and then we won't have this problem. If you're standing next to your teammate over a free kick and you say, hey, I'm going to kick it to the left, so, make sure the guys know that you can still do that. But if you're interacting with an opponent and you cover your face, cover your lips, they're going to assume it's something bad and you're gone. And I think that's a great revelation, a great rearranging of the rules.
I'm with you. And you know what? When we speak next Monday, we will know the knockout round. I'm looking forward to that.
As am I.
Thank you, Mike.
Take care, Dave.
You got it. That's Mike DeCourcy, Sporting News and Big Ten, and he is covering all these games of the World Cup. He's brought to you in part by Shell Dunn. We just talked about Mauricio Pochettino. The USA team made a change at the top. It's really working out. If you are trying to sell your house, you got to have a Pochettino. That would be Sheldon. They call him Sheldon because he always gets the job done because he's working 365, 24/7 to you. That's why he's a terrible golfer. Mr. Three-Putt, Mr. Shank, he can't practice. He's working for you, and he's really got this strategy that has worked for over 40 years. He's been doing it a long time. He knows some stuff about marketing and positioning a property so you get the most money for what you're trying to get, and he's the quickest to the closing table. Talk to him. He says talk to 2 or 3 real estate brokers. Just make sure he's one of them. He'll let you know how you can get to that closing table the quickest and get the most money. 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Sheldon at 483-0546. We take a break. When we come back, Ted Butler on golf. He's next.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just want a fast cash offer, call Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty at 901-257-9420 or direct at 901-319-0747. Looking to buy? Bubba will help you find that perfect home. Thinking about selling? Don't just stick a sign in your yard and hope for the best. With Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty, you get maximum exposure, serious buyers, and real results. Want speed? He'll buy it as is for cash. Want top dollar? He'll list it. Either way, you win. Call Bubba Sandifer at 901-319-0747.
Old Dominick Distillery is pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail. From the winning atmosphere at its downtown Memphis distillery to award-winning craft spirits, Old Dominick is pure Memphis spirit through and through. Swing by the distillery bar for a pregame cocktail or celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at OldDominick.com.
Hey everybody, June is about baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and a new All-Star Chevrolet. Because staycation or vacation, it begins right here in Olive Branch. So let's see how low your payments can go. Come to All-Star and see what 0% financing for 5 years on all these new Silverados will do for you. Because your good credit deserves it. Military and first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. And All-Star Chevrolet has pre-owned makes and models for any budget. Priced in the 10s, 15s, or 20s. Or you can go big with a Tahoe, Traverse with the third row seating, Corvette Stingray. Oh yeah, pre-owned Silverados, they always got them. And for your commercial and fleet needs, All-Star Chevy is a top-rated business elite dealer. Express cargo and express passenger vans, they are there in Olive Branch. And if you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it here to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. Together, let's drive. Don't miss the best sale of the summer event going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
There's enough needless nonsense in the world already. Your phone plan shouldn't add to it. Verizon's new Simplicity plan cuts down on the nonsense in your life. Now there's just one plan, one price, $30 a line per month, even for a single line. And everyone gets our best 5G network. It's a phone plan designed to do exactly what a phone plan is supposed to do. Isn't that a lot simpler? Switch today at Verizon.com or at your nearest store. For new customers, $30 per line includes auto pay and switch discount. Additional taxes, fees, and terms apply. Unlimited data is restricted to on-device smartphone usage. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
you go to summer golfing games and talk to the teacher who's given 100,000 lessons. Ted Butler joins us now. What about Wyndham Clark and his short? Did you give him short game lessons? Is that why he's so good?
No, I didn't. I've never given any, but I'll tell you what, his short game was unbelievable. I mean, the places he got up and down from the last 2 rounds, you just can't do. I mean, he could have been 8 over. It was amazing. And the putt on 18, 50 feet to an inch.
Oh, I know.
You know, to win the U.S. Open.
Well, you know what? In 23, when he won it at L.A. Country Club, he had a 62-footer that he did the same thing. Yeah.
I could give him a lot of credit, you know, and the stuff he put up with from the crowd, you know, all because of his club smashing thing.
Right.
But I think he's a heck of a guy. And the only person with him on the range was his sports psychologist woman. No trackman, no coach, no nothing.
You know what's interesting about that? I understand when the crowds turned so ugly on him, and I don't know, Ted, what we're going to do about this behavior at PGA Tour events. I just couldn't believe they went after an American at the U.S. Open like that. But, you know, he calls himself a heel. But that women's sports psychologist you're talking about, she had to take cover.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what people, you know, he had a bad image from the club throwing thing last year, but he's a tough guy. And when you saw his dad come out of the crowd, you know, kind of looking at him, I see where it came from. He came running down.
Right. Well, he surprised him. You know, he'd never been at a PGA Tour event he won. And so he took the red eye from Denver when he had that big lead. And, I thought he was going to really run away with it. It became interesting.
And how Sam Burns putt on that hole, stay out of the hole, is unbelievable.
Well, he had another shot at 17. I thought Sam Burns was going to win it the way he was playing. He got the ball closer to the pin than anybody. Like Scotty Scheffler, he kept hitting the ball through the greens.
Yeah. Well, in his defense, those greens are so undulating, so hard and above ground, where the wind just makes them like concrete. You know, it's so different golf than anybody around here's ever played. It's just a really, really difficult golf course.
Did you like the setup? Did you think the USGA, which the last time at Shinnecock they took a lot of grief, did you like the way it was set up?
Well, it's an ugly course to begin with, but the way it was set up, it was tough. It was hard, but a lot of good shots ended up in bad places, and they couldn't help it. You know, the wind was blowing so hard, and the greens were so hard. There was no way to stop the ball from some places. And 4 over par wins, tough course.
You know what? Wyndham was fortunate that he had the late Thursday, early Friday, because those were the best conditions, and he took advantage of that. I was shocked yesterday. Scotty Scheffler could not get anything to hold on the green.
It is amazing. You know, it's high and soft. He can hit it. If you just hit any kind of rough spot, they just go. It's like hit to a table with undulations.
He's tied for 4th again. I think the guy, every time he comes out, he finishes top 10. But he's only got 1 win this year. Does that make you worry a little bit about Scheffler? And he reminded everybody he's not been in the final group very much at all this year.
One of the guys I was teaching the other day said, Scheffler's just getting bored. And I thought about that for a minute. He can't start a tournament. The first round of every tournament, he's shooting 71, 73, 72. He plays great on the weekend when he has to, but I don't know. Maybe he's losing interest. Who knows?
He just had that second child. What did he make? $60 million, $63 million last year, and then it's well over $100 million with his endorsements. So I think the money is a factor, and that's why they're playing less and less. So the LIV players played terribly. The LIV may be no longer in existence. Yeah, this becomes an unreal story. You and I, of course, were PGA guys. We were hating the defections and all of that. But, some of these guys made major mistakes. I don't know what happens to John Rahm now.
No, I don't either. I don't either. And Cam Young, not Cam Young. The LIV guys are in trouble. where they're going to play.
Cameron Smith, you're talking about the guy from Australia.
Right.
Yeah.
Smith, right.
Those that sued the PGA Tour, they're forever going to have a hard time, like DeChambeau. All right, last thing. Your lesson on a rainy day.
I was thinking about this last week and watching so many golfers now. A lesson for almost everybody would be to turn your back to the target more than you do. Because most of the amateurs come in here, they pull their left arm across their chest, and the upper body never turns, so they can't get any hip turn, they can't get any club head speed, they can't get on the inside path. The big takeaway today would be to get in front of a mirror and just turn your back and your right hip more to the target on the way back. It'll widen out the backswing. It gives you more room to get on the inside path on the downswing. And because a lot of people that come in here don't do it. Well, and some can't. Some older guys like us can't do it. But that's a tip for the day.
It makes sense to me. Turn your hip. That gets your back to the target.
Back to the target.
Yeah, but you got to use your hip, and that's as you get older. I know this for a fact. That becomes harder and harder to do. Ted Butler, as always, a delight talking with you, and we'll do it again next Monday.
Thanks, Dave.
That is our guy, Ted Butler, on golf. He's brought to you by Cadillac of Memphis. That's Landers Cadillac of Memphis. You know, there's a reason why when you're at the highest standard, they call it the Cadillac. It's exactly what you want to be. You want the best. That's what they are. And if you want the best of the best, that would be Landers Cadillac of Memphis. They always pay top dollar for trades. They always bring in the newest, greatest models. You can save even more with the Landers Easy Pass. Go to CadillacofMemphis.com and see how much more you can get on that. And go just visit this beautiful, beautiful showroom, which they redid. It's a great experience. There's a reason people say it's the Cadillac. Really, the best thing is it's the Landers Cadillac. That's the new standard. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers at any of their dealerships, you paid too much. John Harden is out today. It's going to be Colin Cowherd. He comes your way next.
Previously on the Herd. Play that back. Wait a minute. If you're seeking respect, Giannis has holes. But the
best clubs never stand still. Colonial Country Club has been an iconic part of Memphis golf for generations. And today, a multi-million-dollar reinvention is reshaping its future. Members enjoy championship golf and family-focused amenities, including pickleball, tennis, swimming, fitness, dining, and a vibrant club calendar. History matters. So does what comes next. Membership opportunities are now available. Visit thenewcolonial.com to learn how you can be a part of Colonial's next chapter.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make